So it's the 1 year anniversary of this horrible thing that's happening in the Ukraine. Is it Ukraine or the Ukraine? Is it Kiev or Kiev? I don't know, I'm so shocked and saddened by what's happened that I've forgotten how to pronounce these things. I'm sure you guys are just as sad as I am, and I'm sure that your hearts go out to the families, as do mine. It's staggering to think that it's been a year already. I want to take a look in this video that you're watching right now of a Sky News report of what's been happening and the official story of what's happened over the past 12 months, and then present what some people are going to call a crazy conspiracy theory, but to some people is just common sense. And then I want you to make up your own mind, because what do I know? I'm just a regular person with a beating heart and so much care and concern for the families to whom my heart does go out from this horrible event. So let's take a look at this news story. This is from Sky News. Let's take a look at this.
The daughters of soldiers who lost their lives, posthumous medals for the people of...
This is, of course, the great Zelensky, who never wears a suit or anything, always wears his puffy jacket.
Ukraine, who have lost their lives in a bitter war.
That's the leader of the country with tens of millions. I think it's 40 million people in Ukraine, and that is their leader, dressed like he's about to go out for a Sunday cafe latte.
War, and a war that has now lasted a year, and there we are. There's images there of the families of the fallen who are accepting medals from President Zelensky this morning. Back in the UK, the Labour leader, Keir Starmer, is also taking part in the minute's silence.
Well, they've got the important flag there. I know that many of you, just like me, you changed your social media. It was getting a bit stale with the mask thing, so the timing worked out well. We changed our social media from the mask thing to the blue and the yellow flag to show that we, watch the TV and agree with the current thing.
He's in Cardiff, where he's been meeting the Ukrainian community there. The former Prime Minister, I should say, Boris Johnson.
The minute silence, very important. If you want to learn about the history of the minute silence and why it's so important, check out this video, link in the info box below. It's only a short video, 11 minutes, and it's available right now to you. It is one of the more popular videos on my channel, at least in terms of total views. And in it I put forward the theory that the minute silence is akin to trauma-based mind control, and that's why they do this at schools. This is why you did this when you were a child. Most likely you had to go through the 1 minute silence ritual. It's a form of trauma-based mind control, and it's very important that people are put through this as children when they're too young to contextualize what's going on, because this way they will buy into the narrative and defend it, support it, and get angry at anybody who doesn't go along. And in our societies, we need people to conform in this way and to defend the state and the government and the media and the stories that they tell us. The last thing we want is for people to think for themselves and to go against the hive mind. If you look at the official story of this event, let's zoom in here. This is the Wikipedia page for the conflict. You might be wondering how many people have died. How many families should our hearts be going out to at this time? Well, it's quite controversial. So controversial, in fact, that Wikipedia doesn't even bother putting a number. They just put the strength. You would have seen this in other battles, conflicts, wars, what have you. They normally put the strength of the different parties and then the casualties. For this one, they fully admit that the reports vary wildly. And if you take a look for yourself, you'll see that this is indeed the case. Depending on who you listen to, the number of civilians dead could be 7,000, 9,000, 40,000. The number of Ukrainian forces who've been killed could be 10,000, 20,000, 60,000, a couple 100,000. The number of Russians who've been killed could be 20,000. It could be 300,000. You see, this is all... There are people who are double checking this stuff. There's checks and balances, and you can be certain that the story that we're being told is true, because look how wildly the reports vary. And so with all of that said, I'd like to remind you that tomorrow we do have a member call to commemorate the 1-year anniversary of this horrible event, and my heart goes out to the families. We're having 2 calls, one in the morning, my time, and one in the evening. So this will make sure that no matter where you are in the world, you'll be able to join us for the call. There'll be a time that suits you. Either call 1 or call 2, or you can join us for both if you'd like. And of course, we speak off the record in between the recorded parts of the call. So information about that is in the info box below if you'd like to come and talk with other people who question some of these things. But of course, people whose hearts go out to the families, as you know. People who are interested in talking about what's really going on in the world, and especially in events like this, I recommend you come and check that out. And one more time, go and check out this video. This theory makes people mad, and I don't want to make people mad. I want people to be happy. And I understand that most people believe whatever the TV tells them. Even when the TV tells them a whole bunch of different stories, they'll just pick and choose which one to believe today. They'll change their mind tomorrow if the TV changes the story. God love them, God bless them. That's the world that we live in. George Orwell was right. Check those links in the info box below. And one more time, make sure that if you can, you come along and join us for the member call tomorrow. We've got 2 calls, information in the info box below. And yeah, this is just a very, very sad thing. What can I say?
Johnson, he has been at a Ukrainian Catholic cathedral this morning, lighting candles, at a service there in central London.
Solemn.
Boris Johnson talking to me last night and saying that
this is all very real,
Britain should give all the tools that Ukraine needed.
All the tools that they need.
With regard to nobody died, nobody got hurt in these wars.
How dare you?